2 weeks,
Two
two
weeks from
weeks,
today.
and we'll crown the worst in the league next this week. It's good to be here after a long last. It's a little incognito this season, but I figured I needed to show up for something, especially now that I'm not on Woe Watch anymore. Yeah, Goliath won. Yeah.
I don't know. I never read the Bible.
Take a look at this. He is also upset. I,
How do you feel knowing that the simple switch of DeAndre Swift for Quinshon Judkins would have made the difference?
yeah. Look, far be it from me to from second guess, but Neil has only had one game in the double digits, and I think that was the reach he took there. Yeah,
I so I nothing rang any alarm bells in your head when you figured out he couldn't get playing time for the New Orleans Saints? Who? That he did has done shit all year. Like 3 years ago, yeah. I don't know. I thought you made the trade for DeAndre Swift. I thought you were gonna ride that until I feel like you had to. Okay, how about uh, I'm just saying that even
and I honestly, if I was in Sean's position, I would not have sat Quinn Sean Judkins either.
I,
Like
I'm not saying he 100% should have. I'm just saying it's a conversation at least, and as just as much a conversation like Cortland Sutton and the Michael Wilson thing. Like Michael Wilson, I mean, I think he scored a touchdown late, right? But like
yeah,
he looked, I mean, he was playing against the number one defense. Like obviously he's not going to. I don't know. I understand how good he has looked with Marvin Harrison Jr. on the bench, but like that, I feel like Sean could have won this matchup.
it would have been nice having that Sutton Bo Nix stack as well to kind of mitigate what your opponent is doing on one end.
Yeah, that's true. 138.06.
I think that was like Yeah. No.
I'm gonna say like Jacoby Brissett just like gave you 20 a game. Like that's probably going to be like the
Yeah.
free agent pickup of the year. Like he
Yeah.
was awesome.
Hey,
Sean, you might be muted.
Jeez, I've been talking this whole time. But hey, on the bright side, you haven't heard my baby crying. Um,
he
so
doesn't cry at all. He's a lovely little baby.
oh yeah, no, he's totally placid, dude. Julia was so much more docile than this one. I know, I know. Shh, 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 shh. But no, all that to say, like this game was winnable, but I'm just more than anything, I'm glad that Swift for Neal wasn't the difference because that was the one that I struggled with all week. Everyone else I was pretty much like set on starting. The Bucks also kind of let me down. I mean, that's actually between the Bucks defense and Devin Neal that could have made the difference. But you got to give Scotty credit. He has a good team. His running backs, ETN had himself a day,
Yeah.
as did Bo Nix. So
You know, I think it's kind of poetic that your team lost in a fashion that is correct and attributable to the weaknesses you've already identified, right? The Arizona Cardinals, they didn't let you down. The weaknesses you had there at running back let you down, and that it's how it should end. It should end how we anticipate it will.
So unless anyone has anything else to say, well, you guys want to talk about Scotty's team for a hot minute?
Yeah. I mean, he's got a couple solid players there and a couple of still real stinkers. I don't know if McMillan's fantastic. I know he's 17 on the season. He had a couple big games, but I don't know if Scotty's team is unbeatable.
He's beatable. He's starting Jameson Williams, who will fail him at some point. There's a reason. It makes me so mad. Like I looked around everyone's teams this weekend. You know who everybody who did really well this week are all fucking people that I have dropped. Jameson Williams. Hey, look, he had a good day. Darren Waller had a big day. Kyle Pitts had a big day. Dallas Goedert had a big day. Like everybody who picked up the players that I used to have, those are all the players that went off. And I'm not even mad. I put up 178 on my buy. Like at some point, Jameson Williams will fail him, though. He did shit for me for 7 weeks. I dropped him. He's been like the wide receiver 3 since then. I think Scotty's team is too much like, is he going to get two guys that just completely like go supernova? And this week, Travis Etienne got 30, Bo Nix got 30, Jameson Williams gets 23, Kyron Williams goes for 21. Like, but like you just said, James, like, no, 3.5 out of Tet, 9.5 out of Jacoby Myers, only 11 out of Jonathan Taylor. Like,
he needs all
more.
the players he needs those big 30-point performances, or else the team's not going to perform across the board. It's not like they're buoying each other. It's either boom or bust.
The one other thing I want to say that you keyed in on, Jerry, and that I think is actually the biggest cause for alarm with Scotty's team is Jonathan Taylor, right? Like, there was a lot. I was looking a lot at like, what will Jonathan Taylor's value be like with Phillip Rivers at the helm? Like when you have a 44-year-old quarterback, I would imagine offenses or defenses are going to still stack the box against you. And
the Colts doing this is fucking ridiculous. Like you're telling me that you have so little faith
in AR, right?
Like you have so little faith in any of the other quarterbacks on the roster. You go out and get a quarterback who has not played in 5 years, 44 years old. Like it's ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, like Phillip Rivers didn't look terrible. He looked better than you would have expected, but like this is a joke. Like this can't actually be the strategy. This can't be positive EV.
He's got problems with his mechanics, but he's not a total throwaway. And if he is, why is he still on their roster?
Well, I think he's on the IR right now too. Like I don't even think AR could have been the guy. I think he was going to be on the IR. I think he's on the IR anyways. But just like the idea that like the backup you have like you can't throw him in there for a game. Like I think that's probably the thing that I think is the most ridiculous about this. It's one thing to bring Phillip Rivers in, have him be like on the practice squad for a couple of weeks, elevate him. Like, no, it's like, no, he went from sitting at home with his 10 fucking kids and his grandson to playing in like a 4-day stretch. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
No, I totally agree.
The Colts are an unserious organization.
I totally agree. I'm actually curious. There's a couple quarterback situations this year in the NFL where it's like quarterbacks who you don't know whether they're cooked or their franchise thinks they're cooked, but I'm sure they would disagree. Kyler Murray is one. They're going to be moving on. AR is one. Tua is one. They can't move on for the money from Tua. But
I told you 2 years ago, I think this is like the death, like nail in the coffin for the Dolphins. Like you can't give him $50 million.
Here's what I'll say about the Tua thing. I get it. I get Miami doing it. They had 3 straight seasons of him putting up a 100 plus QB rating. He was top 10 or 15 in MVP voting in 22. He was a Pro Bowler in 23 and like a potential comeback player of the year candidate. Like there was a lot to like about Tua, and his metrics were getting better from 22, 23, 24. Like his accuracy was getting better at least all 3 seasons. His touchdown to interception ratios were good all 3 seasons. Like he wasn't like lighting the world on fire, but if you're saying is Tua a top 10 or 15 quarterback, yeah, I'd say so at that point in the game. They were banking on, after the last concussion, they were banking on, is he going, and he's had a lot of health issues. I mean, Alabama, right? They were banking on, is he going to be the guy? Can he get us to the promised land? And I get, based on the stats, thinking that he is, but obviously that didn't pan out.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. This is why, like, this idea of giving out these 4-year contracts at the end of a contract just seems so weird. It's like, no, he signed that deal 2 years ago. This is the first year of it. So like they owe him $50 million a year for the next 3 years. Like they cannot cut him. He's going to just be on the like.
It's not.
Is there
bad.
any way?
Yeah.
It's like
no.
It's like $40 million in a dead cap hit, and then
let's...
$30 million in a dead cap hit. Like I think 2 years from now, he's a $30 million dead cap hit for them.
I'm looking it up really right now. I'm Googling it. It's
like they cannot. This year they cannot cut.
No,
sorry,
year,
for next season they cannot cut him.
No,
they cannot.
Right. He has to stay on the roster next season because of the cap hit. But once you get past next season, it's not as bad. Next season, the cap hit would be $56 million.
Oh God, that's a hit though.
That's a quarter of your cap space.
No, sorry.
Or guys on your bench.
You don't worry about the cap hit. You worry about the dead. The dead cap is what matters. So the dead cap right here. Obviously, he's on the roster this season, 2025. It's a $100 million dead cap hit. You can't take that. You can take a $31 million cap hit. It's not friendly, but you can figure out a way to take a $31 million and then
it's
an $18 million.
It's still 15-20% of your cap. What's the NFL cap right now? Isn't it like 215 million or something?
The NFL cap is, let's see,
279. So what's 31 out of 280? I mean,
it's
a third, or not a third,
a ninth. Like it's approximately a ninth, like a little over a ninth.
So like, over 10% of your cap.
But no,
even next year
as a cap hit, right? No, I get you're playing rebuild from a franchise perspective for the next, and you have to hit a rookie quarterback now. Like don't get me wrong, the Dolphins are massively in trouble. But there are ways to restructure. There are ways to you know how the NFL execs do their.
You can hand wave and restructure all you want, but at a certain point, there's going to be damage done.
The easiest way, though, to clear cap space, though, you know what it is?
Trade and
turn his salary into a signing bonus.
Well, yeah,
it literally is like, here's the money now, so it doesn't affect our cap too bad next time. So you're going to hand him $100 million to not play. The biggest thing that could work.
Well, I would say they'll either do that or they will find a trade situation where Miami eats part of it, another team eats part of it. But again, I don't think it's going to happen next year. What's going to happen next year is the Dolphins are going to have Tua as a much more expensive version of Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. He is going to be a backup quarterback for whatever, either Quinn Ewers or another rookie. It depends on what Ewers shows. And then you try to, again, once his cap hit is palatable enough for another team to take a flyer on Tua, I don't think Tua's started his last game in the NFL. Another team's going to give him a shot. So once you find a team that's desperate at quarterback who wants to get somebody who has veteran experience and thinks, okay, Tua might have a little more tread on the tires, they'll work out a deal where they absorb part of the contract, Miami eats part of it, and you find a way to move on. But it is a rebuild for the Dolphins. It's not close.
It's just tough to be in a rebuild when it's like you've been in one playoff in the last 4 years. Like,
no. We've made the playoffs.
Let's not rack on the Dolphins too much.
No. We made the playoffs two or three of the last 4 years. Like, the Dolphins are always in the playoff conversation. Have been when Tua and Tyreek and Jalen Waddle have all these guys have been around. We've never won a playoff game. The last playoff game the Dolphins won was more than 2 decades ago. It is the longest streak in the NFL. It has been suffering as a 35-year-old being a Dolphins fan, not watching your team win a playoff game since you were before you were a teenager.
Diapers.
Like,
yeah, they had a 2-year stretch where they made the playoffs, and they have not. So not last season, so not 24, but so they made the playoffs in 22 and 23. And before that, they didn't make
24. They just missed. Like, they're always around the conversation. Was the point I was making.
Honestly, the best thing that could happen for the Miami Dolphins is that Quinn Ewers is just an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, if he could be your starter, because like you're paying him nothing for the next 3 years, and then you could double franchise tag him. Like, okay, he could be your guy for 5 years, and you are only going to pay
or
$30 million in that stretch. Because right, I think his contract. What is his contract? He's a 4-year, $4 million contract. Like, the best thing that could happen is like a Brock Purdy situation.
Yeah, for sure. And then again, if that doesn't happen, you need to draft a quarterback, and you keep looking until you find your guy. Like, you're back on the quarterback carousel, but you're not going to be signing anybody. It's going to be time to start drafting young quarterbacks and hope that Mike McDaniel can help them develop. And McDaniel's going to probably be around for 1 more year.
You think he's going to stick around?
I think I guarantee you that if Mike McDaniel wants to stay for 1 more year, they'll give him the job. They won't fire him unless they lose out and look embarrassing all 3 games. They'll give McDaniel 1 more shot. Stephen Ross seems to believe in the guy. I believe in Mike McDaniel. I think he's a really good offensive mind. And I think also Anthony Weaver's a very good defensive coordinator. I think the coaching is potentially there, and is also, these are also young coaches that are growing. I think the problem is they believe Tua was. This isn't, by the way, this is a Dolphins podcast. We've gone way on this tangent.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 6 and 8 also isn't like the time where you're like immediately cutting all the coaching staff. It's bad, but it's not
like. But McDaniel's going to be on the hot seat next year again, in a very hot seat. But ultimately, what this comes down to is like, the Miami Dolphins have to eat the fact that they gambled on Tua being the guy, and he wasn't. This is the sunk cost fallacy, quintessential sunk cost fallacy.
Let's move on to
why you don't start Tua. Anyway, moving on to our other semifinal matchup, in Window, who has been in the chat commenting, by the way. And I sorry, Window, thank you for calling me out for being muted, but Window makes the most of his Cinderella story, upsets the 3 seed Brad. I mean, both of these guys were kind of like, I would say, the Cinderella teams in the bracket. But Window with a convincing performance, 4th in scoring.
Before the podcast started, Jerry, if I'm gonna blow your spot up, you were saying you were concerned. Windows, he's got momentum right now. He's got intimidating momentum, and his team looks like, we were talking about Scotty's team not being balanced. Windows' team seems fairly balanced to me too. Any one of those guys could go off any given week.
He has potential to boom. Like, he had a 194-point day this season. Like, obviously his team can do that. I think obviously he gets the benefit of playing the worst matchup this week. Like, he just as easily could have ended up against Scotty and been out. But no, like, Bijan is really good. Jackson Dart is really good. Rico Dowdle didn't have a great day, but has shown the ability to go off for 30 points this season. He's done it. He's had 27 or more 3 times this season. Wan'Dale Robinson, he's got the stack with Dart. He's looked good. Justin Jefferson's the biggest question mark, and Brock Bowers is just like the biggest boomer bust player imaginable. It's like it goes both ways.
Can we talk about Bill?
And he left some points on his bench.
No, but hold on. So that's fool's gold, because again, like, don't get me wrong, I understand. Like, Caleb Williams, had an 18-point day, but he was the 3rd best quarterback on his roster. He wasn't going to start him.
Yeah.
Troy Franklin was the one person who he left points on his bench for. But Goddard, like, are you really going to do? Again, this is what we talked about. Do you do double tight end? Like, do you do tight end as a flex? You could, but then do you really?
Dallas Goedert's also one of those guys where he's been very mid for 6 weeks, which is why I dropped him. I drop him, and then he puts up 30 2 points
Yeah.
over the last 2
And
weeks.
the question is, do you ride that streak,
Yeah.
or do you
Is he
think
gonna
it's going to regress to the mean?
Yeah, is he going to score 2 touchdowns again? I mean, the Vegas is terrible.
Yeah.
So like, who knows?
But
no, like he
Bill-
has. I think I'm just so concerned about Justin Jefferson.
Oh, I totally. I mean, he's
Everybody
he's the
eats
player.
against Dallas except for Justin Jefferson, apparently.
Justin Jefferson just can't. I mean, if you watch that game, they were trying to get him the ball here and there, and just like every play that they targeted Justin Jefferson, something would go sideways. Where like there was some reason why he couldn't McCarthy would overthrow him, or the pass rush would disrupt the throw. Like it was always when Jefferson was targeted when something would go sideways. He's just having like a really unlucky year. No one doubts the player, right? Like it's just the offense.
And I think nobody doubting the player. I think that's something you got to take into account, because as the season starts to wind down, I think sometimes the raw talent in these players comes forward in a way that it doesn't in weeks like 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think McCarthy might have actually found a little bit more of his footing in the last 2 weeks or so than he had previously. And so I think I think he's going to be. I mean, I start him. I don't bench Justin Jefferson.
But that's the problem. Is again, it's the sunk cost fallacy. I should name this episode the sunk cost fallacy, because it's like Justin Jefferson. He was Windows at least second rounder, right? Like Bijan was his first rounder. So yeah, it was.
Oh, you're right.
I would assume that Justin Jefferson was Windows second rounder, right?
He traded for him for Kyron Williams.
He traded. So yeah, Justin Jefferson.
He was a first rounder
overall, first round pick. Can you bench a first round pick in this when you've made the semifinals? Like,
I think it's really hard to.
It's really hard to.
I don't think you bench Jefferson.
I don't think you do either, because it's also such. I think the Giants are a good matchup this week. Like, it's like, do you bench a first round talent against one of the worst defenses in football?
You can't do it. You don't start.
I don't think you can, because this is like, if you do, he's going to go off for like 40, and
of course. And if you start him, he's going to have 5. But like, you don't. You start your studs. You don't bench your studs in the playoffs. Window throwing shade says, I will not listen to James with any rookie analysis after his goal. Speaking of which, James, I'm sorry, but you did end up losing that slap bet in one of the most lopsided slap bets. It
was bad. It was bad.
But I also lost one to Alex. Finally won a slap bet. You're welcome, Alex. Because Kyler Murray was not a top 14 quarterback, not even close. So
hey,
we got some debts to pay, man.
He was hurt. The big question here is Jacoby Brissett a top 14 quarterback? And that might be a wash if he
right?
is.
That should count if Jacoby Brissett gets there. So let's just really quick talk about Brad's team. Obviously, a huge disappointing end to get an ice bagel in the playoffs that didn't end up playing on a healthy. Like, it was literally like a 12:45, 12:50 healthy scratch. Jerry, I can see
not a healthy scratch.
Or not a healthy scratch. Sorry,
he aggravated the injury.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't playing this week. I checked my lineup at 12:58 just to make sure. Like, I don't know. It's such a default thing. I know Brad does other things on Sundays too. So like, I get it. He looked early. He looked at around noon. He was playing. He decided it's a late thing. It kind of sucks. I'm glad it didn't make the difference.
There was no way.
That makes me happy.
Advancing.
Yeah. So like, it's kind of whatever. Yeah, it's kind of a disappointment. I mean, Brad was, what did I say? It was just this up and down. It's like, I think he's dead. He comes out of nowhere with a win. He ends up as the 3 seed.
Brad could go.
He couldn't beat anybody this week. He couldn't beat anybody this week.
Yeah.
Even with the perfect lineup.
He's really lucky he was not in the bottom 4.
Yeah.
Because he'd be playing for last right now.
He'd be playing to avoid the Sacko. Speaking of which, in the first of our 2 Sacko matchups, congratulations are in order to going from Woat Watch to I just want to see this.
Going from this imaginary thing I made up to
listen, it was like what, 1 and 7 maybe. I think that was the record at some point. 1 and 6. It was bad.
I think 1 and 6 was your lowest point.
Let me see. I'm looking it up right now. We've got he lost week 1. Lost.
I haven't been on the.
He was 0 and 6, won a game, lost 2, so he was 1 and 8, and then reeled off 4 straight.
Wow.
I was not concerned about my team at all until after week 3 or so. Because I was like, okay,
the 46 point
wait,
day.
wait,
didn't-
wait, wait. Oh, you mean after week 2 when
No.
you put up 46, you work, and you're like, oh, this is fine, everything's fine.
I was like, you know what? My teams always do this. They always start slow. They stabilize in the middle, and then I ride that to the end.
Oh.
I was not concerned.
In your defense, in week 1, I think you were 5th in points scored or 4th in
like
points scored. Put up 122. You had a fine day. It was fine.
Like AJ Brown didn't do anything, so I was like, oh, he'll be fine.
But yeah, no, the 46 in week 2 was kind of like, oof, that's not great. And then Sean just jumped on that train of 100-point performances.
Yeah.
Bro.
But again, I clutched through when I needed to and avoided any sort of Sacko punishment to Zach, who is my pick for the Sacko, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
Ooh. Well, I mean, and it helps that, like, again, Josh Allen doing Josh Allen things. McCarthy had a very good day by his standards, and Travion Henderson was the big win beneath your wings. But good scoring throughout your roster. Meanwhile, for Zach, like, his team imploded at the worst possible time. I should say the worst possible time. Worst possible time would have been last week, but I guess it kind of did there too. But man, like,
I feel bad for him losing this game and then also having to deal with the hits to Mahomes and Rice. That is rough.
And Kelsey.
Yeah. I mean,
Does he feel good about starting Marcus Mariota?
Oh,
Because he already lost Jaden Daniels.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he has just been.
And like Bucky Irving, like, has looked so good, and it's just like, but by the way, he's not getting a goal line carry.
Honestly, Zach's team was a playoff team with, and I think you can say this a lot of teams, like, playoff team, but for, like, injuries. Like, some teams get hurt with injuries worse than others. I think we're all amazed at Jerry, the amount of good luck you've had with, like, your running back core to stay healthy all year. But this was brutal for Zach. A brutal season in terms of injuries. So
yeah. I mean, I said it on the pod last week. Like, if JJ McCarthy is going to have a get right game, it is against Dallas. Everybody eats against Dallas. He actually looked somewhat like an NFL quarterback. And I've been saying it all year. Like, this is why I said for weeks on end, I'm like, I don't think Woat Watch should be a thing. Like, James has good players. He has players who can go off. Like, Josh Allen is the #1 player in fantasy football. Travion Henderson, it took some time. Like, if James could have snuck into the playoffs, like, I don't want to play against Travion Henderson. Derrick Henry is still Derrick Henry.
If I wide receiver playoffs, like, I would actually feel good right now, but wasn't the case. You know,
I mean, yeah, you put up 153 last week. I mean, would have beat anybody but me last week. Like,
that being said, though, I think Woat Watch is. I actually think it's a positive thing for the league. I appreciate that Sean started that, because sometimes, you know, this league has so much history that when you see a team go undefeated or only defeated, it's kind of a big deal. It's like a statistical anomaly, and people like that kind of stuff. You know, it's what makes the 0-16 Detroit Lions from 2005, which what makes them notable.
So we've got one last Sacko Bowl or Sacko semifinal matchup to recap, and in the battle of the Jasons, 2 Jasons enter, 1 Jason left without having to fear about Waffles or a drunk SAT or a puzzle, and that would be McMillan. Saves himself and avoids the Sacko Bowl. This was again, Jason Smith's team has just been roundly disappointing throughout the entire season. Like, it's just been like one rough week after another. Like, I don't know, man. Like, this is the injury riddled Zach's team versus just the definition of mediocrity and underachieving that is Jason Smith's team in our Sacko Bowl. It kind of makes some semblance of sense.
If I'm Jason, I feel salty, particularly that my running back put up 30 and I wasn't able to pull through with that.
Yeah. Nico Collins had 22. Like, he had a couple booms. But I will say this, the 20-point defensive swing hurts.
Yeah, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Dallas. Nobody should start them.
But I don't think there was a way for Jason Smith to win this week, even despite that. Like,
he sets a perfect lineup with what he had on the roster. He still loses.
Joe Burrow was perhaps the biggest disappointment.
I think the only way that he actually is able to pull off a win is if he hadn't have dropped Trevor Lawrence and started Trevor Lawrence this week.
Yeah.
Because Trevor Lawrence dropped like 50.
Yeah.
But who was his third quarterback? Who did he drop? Or, well, who was his fourth quarterback? Because I know he dropped Trevor Lawrence.
Well, he only has 2 quarterbacks on his roster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But he had 4, which is why he had to drop Trevor Lawrence to activate Joe Burrow at the time.
Let's go to the tape. Recent activity. And we'll do team. Shake that burr. Don't look it up. Start date November 8th. All right. He dropped.
Oh, it was Daniel Jones.
Yeah, Danny Jones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Makes sense. So just kind of shitty for him that he drops Trevor
November
Lawrence.
27th,
Daniel Jones
Lawrence.
gets hurt.
Daniel gets hurt. Has to drop him.
Yeah.
That sucks. I mean, it's just been that season for him.
No, it really has. It just seems like every decision that he's made just has worked out terribly for him.
Yeah, for real. So,
and he ends the season with the same record as the World Watch, unfortunately for him.
Oh.
And maybe in the Sacko.
Well, and the last thing I just want to say really quick, McMillan's team, I said that he was kind of a playoff contender over the last like 3 or 4 weeks of the season. I think he would have been a first round exit from the playoffs, seeing the scores from the semifinal, the teams in the first round.
Well, yeah,
but he had a contender of a team. Like I think this is, again, I said in my power rankings he didn't deserve the Sacko. I'm glad he didn't end up getting the Sacko. You know, but
it'd be a rough thing to have it back to back. So
this is unfortunate because the Sacko Bowl right now, we just both talked about how Jason has had just really bad luck, like dropping Daniel Jones and the Trevor Lawrence, and Zach and his luck with injuries. I'm not going to feel like either of these guys are particularly deserving of the Sacko. They just had a really rough run.
I actually just realized.
Being deserving doesn't matter. Like I said it to Sean before last year's championship. If you're looking for good karma in fantasy football, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, if you're looking for fantasy football, you're looking for the wrong thing. No, so this is actually an interesting point I just realized. So we all know that there is never, in the 17 seasons that this league has been around, no one has ever won back-to-back titles. Likewise, no one has ever won back-to-back Sackos. So
it should be unlikely to happen. But,
it's gonna happen at some point.
So just to loop back really quick to the window Brad. I'm sorry to loop back. I should have mentioned this while we were on their matchup. So obviously these are Brad and Window are the only two to have never won a championship in the league. Current players, to never win a championship. So obviously we talked about how Brad and Jason currently hold the longest drought. Which I think this is season number 11 without a title.
Correct.
Do you know who has the record for the longest amount of time in the league without winning a title? So it's not just longest drought, and people who have won it, because people have had some long droughts and then eventually won it.
McMillan?
McMillan was up there. I think McMillan went 8 seasons before winning his.
It's got to be Brad, right?
Brad currently just tied someone by not winning it this year.
Who would have been in the league for 11 seasons before winning? I'm going to guess, could it be James?
James was also up there. I think James had 9 seasons. I looked it up earlier. I wish I'd kept it written down.
It could be
I think
Alex,
James had 9 seasons before finally winning one.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be...
Again, it is someone no longer in the league.
Daryl?
So it was Nick.
Nick
Played 11 seasons and never won a title. Like 3 of those seasons were a combo team with Daryl. But so Brad, you have an opportunity. You don't want to be sitting alone next season.
You can avoid history.
12 seasons. I think Window is on season number 7, if I'm remembering correctly. So don't worry, Window. Brad's pushing off that for you. You still have time.
And don't
Window,
worry,
yeah, you got time.
Longest title drought is still at 15. You're welcome.
That will be a hard one to beat, but Brad has the best chance right now.
Well, Brad
to break that record.
Brad Jason,
another 15 years.
Their way there.
Well, that's what we were just saying. That's what we said on the pod last week. It's like if Sean doesn't win this, doesn't go back to back, like there is a decent chance he doesn't win again until he's 50.
Yeah.
Oof. Hey, you know
like
what?
Sean, you were 20 years old when you won your title.
Where is it?
You were 36.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I love you so much for 2 more weeks. Mwah! So I need to bring this to bed with me. I just need to savor it. I'm gonna miss you.
It was a long time coming. I dreamed for this trophy.
I earned it. So we have recapped all 4 matchups. With that said, let's get to the Shiva bracket. So let me take this browser off. Where is it? Okay, sorry about that. So, yeah, this is what our bracket looks like for the playoffs. Window facing off against Jerry, Scotty facing off against Alex.
You want to do Jerry's first?
Well, before we get to predictions, we got a couple more things to run through. The other thing I wanted to show was the Sacko bracket. Obviously, James McMillan winning means Smith and Zach in the Sacko Bowl. And now, with that said, before we get to the offer report, which we'll do, I do want to get to the power rankings because whoops, what is going on with this? Wrong one. There we go. Because make no mistake, I have not stopped doing power rankings just because, in my tier list, just because we're in the playoffs. Jerry's still him. Alex and Scotty, the 2 remaining dark horse contenders. Window's still dancing with glass slippers in B tier. Brad and I in C tier will not be returning to the finals. Both of us, the last year's finalists eliminated in the same week. In D tier, James and McMillan safe from Waffles. And in the F tier, Zach and Jason Smith, the Sacko beckons. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. Let's get to the offer report. So this was this past week's offer report. How many different offers was this? Like it's at least 9 different waivers were made here. And it, obviously Brad and I didn't make any moves. I think I would assume McMillan likewise and James. So the 4 of us, our seasons are done, so no one's making any moves, obviously. Yeah. So it's really those 6 teams, Zach and Jason Smith, that are playing to avoid the Sacko, and then the 4 semifinal teams are all the ones making these roster moves. But the big money came from Zach throwing a total of 30% of his budget out on Bryce Young and the Saints D, and both of them make sense because of the Mahomes injury and because the Saints D gets a favorable matchup against, I think is it the Browns? I want to say they play the Browns.
Saints.
No, the Jets. Apologies.
Which makes sense.
And by the way, in week 17, not that it matters for Zach's purposes, but they also play the Titans in week 17. So
yeah, Zach messaged me and was like, shit, you have the Texans defense. I was going to drop my entire budget on them. I was like, bro, I've had them for like 6 weeks. I looked at their playoff matchups. I looked at their playoff matchups. I was not going to.
You didn't even need to look at playoff matchups. They've been on fire the last, like they would no way they'd be still around on waivers at this point in the season.
Yeah. No, like the last couple of weeks, like week 13, 14, 15, like they didn't have the best of matchups. But I was like, no, I am holding on to them forever. Like knowing they get Vegas in the first or in the semifinals, like and they don't have a great matchup in the championship round, but like that's also why I still have the Steelers. So like we'll see what I decide to do. But yeah, like that was so funny this morning. Zach's like, oh no, kind of a shitty waiver report. I'm like, it's like 23 bids between like 4 players.
Yeah, no, it is not a shitty waiver report. You continue to add and drop Ollie Gordon like crazy and Kyle Pitts like crazy.
He had the injury. Kyle Pitts.
I feel like those are your 2 like practice squad players that like every week you drop whichever one of them you don't need and then just add them back on waivers.
I can't drop anybody else is the problem. Like I'm too scared. Like I can't drop Ryan Robinson. What if Christian McCaffrey gets hurt? I can't drop Samaje Perine. What if Chase Brown gets hurt? I can't drop the Steelers defense. I think they have the Cleveland Browns.
You can't drop Jalen Wright. You just spent a ton of money on him.
I just spent all my money on Jalen Wright. I can't drop him. He seems like the guy over Ollie Gordon. I don't know what to do.
I mean, honestly, though, Jerry, your team's good enough that you might just sit on your laurels there, man.
I'm waiting So one of the big things is Kyle Pitts does have a good matchup this week. He's looked good with he looks good with Kirk Cousins.
Tell the folks at
He
home
has a
about
good
your
matchup.
dream.
Well, yeah, we'll come back to the dream in a second. But yeah, he's looked good with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. He's a good matchup this week. And honestly, it's like I didn't want Window to pick him up.
Yeah.
It's like and honestly, that's also why I bid as much as I did. It was like whoever I'm playing between Alex and Scotty next week, I don't want them to have him either. Like their tight end situations don't look that great either. Like I'm playing a little defense here, okay?
It's a good thing you did too.
And yeah, and I had a dream that like 2 weeks ago that George Kittle gets hurt during the semifinal matchups. I start Kyle Pitts in the championship, and he leads me to a title. So he was my last pick in the draft. He deserves to be on the roster. You know, I had to drop him earlier. You know, he is my practice squad guy.
Is there a little bit of you? Is there just a 1% of you that's afraid that because you dropped Ollie Gordon, Devon Achane is now going to get hurt this week?
If he does, I believe Jalen Wright is the guy that they will give more work to.
And you believe that as of 1 week ago when he got a ton of carries when Devon Achane got hurt, when he had
20, he got 24 fucking touches in that game. Window, I'm talking about Kyle Pitts. But no, I believe that is the best situation. I think that is what they would do. And also, like, I don't know I was kind of hoping that more information about Ollie Gordon's injury would come out. Like, if he's definitely out, it's obviously an easy decision, but he just hasn't been getting work the last like 2-3 weeks.
He's the like I said, the power back for Miami, and they don't use power that often. No, you made a great bid on Pitts. I also like the number. But
you like that?
I did. Nice touch. But yeah, there are a bunch of other like ads for low. I mean, we're low in the season right now, so people throwing the rest of their budgets out. What's Jason Smith added? Mitchell.
I don't know about you guys. I tend to get very superstitious when it comes to the playoffs. Where if I've made it to the playoffs, I kind of get a little bit of an affinity for my team, and I'm like, okay, I got my guys. I got to go with my guys, barring injuries, barring major shakeups like that. Like
yeah, James, we know you don't like spending your budget. You're buying everybody pizza at the end of the season.
Touche.
That $955 that you got. Oh, I had this idea. I didn't see it. I had this idea. What do you guys think about this? So you know how obviously points forward is big when it comes to the wild card and everything. Mm. What if we did a thing where for every $10 that you save in your fab budget at the end of the season, it gives you 1 point towards your total points scored. So if you use none and you have $1,000 left, hey,
you get
here's an extra 100 points towards your points total.
It kind of makes you pick your shots a little bit.
It really would. And like someone like you, or actually I think like McMillan, who didn't use any, it's like 56 points might have been the difference for him. Like, I'm wondering if there's something that we could do that I doubt we would get enough buy-in from the rest of the league to actually do it. But I had this idea and I was like, I like that idea. Like you get some benefit to it.
I want to incentivize people actually using their fab money.
You didn't use it.
I know, but like as a league structure.
You want to know something worse? I'm gonna have to go in right now and edit the rosters because this guy made an ad drop after his season's already over.
No, all right. So look, here's what McMillan and I have agreed. Hear me out. We're starting a new tradition. He and I's game doesn't matter. So it is
literally against the rules for you to do this. We voted on this.
Yeah, it is.
It is a league rule.
You
voted on. You
are
the only one to vote against it.
You can have your game.
You are not allowed to do ad drops.
You can have your game, but I am releasing the Falcons D from your roster. I am just trying to figure out how to do that.
All right, guys, we got to remember the rules meetings that we have because Window did it earlier in the year where he added somebody off waivers and then dropped him same day. It is literally it won like 7-0-1. Come on, guys.
What I was just texting McMillan about was a sheer our game doesn't matter, a sheer gambling situation where we each pick a defense off the waiver wire, and that's the only player we start. Just to spice it up a little bit.
That's fine. I mean, but you can do this in your heads. You can both pick a defense and text about it, post in the chat. You can have a slap bet on it for all I care, but as of you're not adding a defense for this matchup. But don't get me wrong. I am nothing if not fair as a commissioner. So I did remove the Falcons defense from your roster. But to be fair, you did drop Sam Laporta,
All right.
so I will put him back on your roster. He is back
Fair.
on your
All
roster.
right. So McMillan, if you are listening, I will absolutely honor our previous arrangement of waiver wire Ds. We'll just have to score it off calendar.
Who knows? Maybe somebody goes in and, wants one of those defenses.
Wants Laporta, wants the Falcons D.
Oh wait, McMillan. I gotta do McMillan's too. He added the Dolphins D and dropped the Bears D before James did. Gosh,
I gave
guys
him,
are the worst kind of people.
As a gentleman, I gave him first pick.
We literally had a rule about this.
Oops.
Oh my gosh. Dolphins defense is being dropped. What defense did he have?
He had the Bears.
The Bears. I'm gonna add the Bears to him.
Actually, you know what, James? If you guys are going to do this, I don't care. You can do it as long as you go ahead and just drop Josh Allen right now.
Wait, who's got the most fab? Wait, we're gonna get there. Hold on. No spoilers. We're gonna get to who had the most fab in a second. Where's the Bears D?
Oh, really quick, just responding to the chat. Windows said that he didn't want to stack too many Falcons players, and that I get that. Right. I didn't realize that you were one of the people that did not bid on Kyle Pitts. I saw so many. I assumed that you were one of them.
Is there a way to? I wonder if there's a way. Can I lock rosters for certain people?
Yes, you can do that.
How do I?
You don't need to figure it out now. You can lock.
I didn't think that we'd have to do that. I literally read a post about it, like on Reddit, that was talking about like, oh yeah, you do this and then lock the rosters, and I was like, oh yeah, that'd probably be something we could do, but we don't have to do that. No one's gonna do that.
Our system, right?
Since we specifically made a rule.
All right.
Yeah, no. Windows says his was an honest mistake. I understand that, Window. That I get you.
So we're gonna go to our fabs now. This is the fab report. James just gonna throw a pizza party for the entire league with his $955.
There was nobody that I liked.
Interestingly, like the guys who have nothing to play for at this point have 4 of the top 5 budgets. Myself, Brad, Jason McMillan, and James Waller are all in the top 5 of budgets. But granted, a lot of those are big money. I have $115. Now I see why you wanted him to drop Josh Allen, because of the teams left. Well, actually, no, that wouldn't make a lot of sense for you. Other teams left in the playoffs. Yeah. Scotty has $192. You have $100. Alex has $0, and Window has $0. So if anyone wants a waiver ad, Scotty's got the big bucks, and you have $100 to spend. Interesting position as we get to the final waiver week of the season. So now we go to our predictions. And James, you're going to have the opportunity, much like Zach, to make 3 predictions this week. You could, if you get them all right, you have the best prediction percentage of all of us. You still won't win our title because Jerry and I think you need a certain number of prediction games to qualify.
Yeah. The game started minimum.
But you could go 3 for 3. You could have a perfect score. We'll see. Speaking of good scores, Jerry, you and I both went 3 for 4 last week. I missed on Brad. You missed on Jason Smith. But otherwise, we nailed the rest of our predictions. You are still, unfortunately, behind me by a
only by 3. I got 2 more weeks to get.
You're behind by 3, but you've also predicted 10 more games because you had 2 extra weeks where I was in the hospital and
that's not what we're talking about. Right now. It's all about how many you win.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and again, we top 3, bottom 3. I'm actually I need to update this. We were wrong about James because he's not gonna. Well, I guess technically James. We'll see if you're still gonna. If you finish in 8th, technically you're right about you being bottom 3. So it'll be coming to you and McMillan this matchup coming up. But I was right about you, Jerry. We really didn't get anything else wrong or right on our top 3, bottom 3. So that's where we're at with that. Let's get into our predictions. So we have 3 matchups to do this week, and we'll start with. This is the first week in a long time.
Start with Sacko.
No. But dramatic tension. Start with the Shiva, build to the Sacko Bowl. But this is the first week in 33 weeks where we can't start with the Commissioner's matchup.
Yeah, Commissioner's matchup sucks.
I don't have one. I'm playing Brad. It doesn't matter. So
I mean, hey, if you want, we could pick that matchup.
Though this is gonna be this might be a very quick,
I got Brad.
this might be a
There's
very
no shot Brad sets his lineup.
quick. Yeah, no, I'm not setting my lineup. I don't care anymore. I'm done. But this might be a very quick prediction. Jerry versus Window. Holy crap! Again, just the projections. A projected 160. Like, do you have wet dreams at night about like your projections? Like, bro, projected 30. Like we say, like 130 is a good score. Windows projected 131.
131.8 is good enough for second in scoring this season.
160.
Yeah, Jerry, I'm not betting against you, man. That team
Holy
your team is
crap.
solid. It's always been solid. I've got Jerry all the way.
All right, so
I think the only matchup that I think I prefer for Window here is Bijan and Devon. But
on H-Han?
yeah, other than that, though, I got you across the board.
I'm just writing down his predictions.
Let me tell you all of the reasons why Window can win.
Before you predict yourself.
He has the Jackson Dart, Wandale Robinson stack. Robinson's looked really good. Jackson Dart's just been a walking 25 points a game. Bijan Robinson can go like supernova at any time. Rico Dowdle has shown that he can put up 30-plus points. I already talked about this. If Justin Jefferson is going to ever get it going, it probably will come against the New York Giants. Dallas Goedert just had 22 points. Seems like Jalen Hurts over the last 2 weeks has only been throwing to him and gets a great matchup against Washington. Brock Bowers also has shown an ability to just go off for 20 points when it's convenient. Now, I don't love the matchup with Houston. That's obviously not great. But if Las Vegas is going to have any chance in this game, it's going to have to come like through Brock Bowers doing something. I am curious. Like, right now, Window has had like the double tight end stack. I don't know if he's going to stick with that. Maybe he starts Michael Carter. I don't know yet.
Look, again, though, you talk about Brock Bowers. Oh, Brock Bowers could go off. Who's Brock Bowers matched up against? The number 2 running back. I think it's like that, up and down.
I get it.
So who are you predicting?
Window has had a day where he has put up 195 points this season. His team is actually coming into form. Window is a team of destiny. There's no reason he should be here. He is going to dethrone me. I'm calling it now.
Wow. He predicts Window.
I'm going to rage quit the league after this. When it happens.
And no one will blame you. Like, because I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure it was you, of all people, who invited Window into the league, who like made the connection to this league. You brought him into the league.
I dropped Dallas Goedert. I picked this side of the bracket. This is the person I wanted to play. The fantasy gods are going to say, wait a minute, you could have just stuck with your original matchup and been just fine. Guess what?
You're getting punished.
Here's your L.
Fantasy gods are going to punish you.
Like, it does make some, like, you're spinning some truth here. So
I feel like this is like one of those cognitive biases.
Hold on.
Where we always tend to remember the teams that are the underdogs and that get that streak at the end and win, and we forget all the ones where it's like, oh, of course the first team, the juggernaut, wins. Because it's not an upset, it's not as exciting. I think that's what's happening here mentally with us. I think your team is too good, and statistically speaking, I think you're there.
So we talked about this on the pod earlier in the year. James wasn't. I'm assuming you didn't watch that pod. So sorry, John. I don't mean to interrupt.
No.
I do want to throw this out here. If you had to guess, how many times do you think the number 1 seed has won the championship in this league in its 16-year history? And then a secondary question to that is, how many times has the number 1 seed had 10 or more wins and gone on to win the championship?
I would guess 4 times.
It's 3. And now, of those 3, how many have had 10 or more wins?
1 of them.
1. It was Scotty 2 years ago. Teams that are this good just don't win championships in our league.
So
go ahead, Sean.
The New England Patriots problem.
Here's what I want to say. Jerry is right. Window is a team of destiny. There is no explanation for why Window is in the semifinals.
Jalen Hurts and Ladd McConkey couldn't combine for 3.5 points to keep Window out of the playoffs.
There is no reasonable explanation for Window winning his first playoff game, being in the semifinals, but for destiny being on his side. And what you're forgetting is being a team of destiny can also be a kiss of death. Last season, Brad was a team of destiny.
No, you were the team of destiny. And this is the thing. Like, we make predictions of who's going to be the team of destiny, and we just get it wrong. And then all of a sudden someone wins, and it's like, yeah, that's not who we thought. They were the team of destiny.
But here's the other piece of the puzzle that you're not forgetting, or that you're not remembering. This could be a hot take, or maybe it's not a hot take. I don't know. In the chat, tell me what you think of this take.
Window, this is your first playoff win. Last week was your first playoff win.
Jerry's team, on paper,
I'm good on
in my view, is the best that has ever been assembled. I don't remember a team being this. I don't remember a team at any of the 17 seasons we've had that, and please don't shove up when I tell you this, but like, I don't remember a team ever being this good. I called it from the draft. I said you were top 3. Your team is stupid good. We just said projected 160, bro. How many weeks have you? Let me honestly, honest to God, let me do just a quick schedule check of your performances every week this year. Okay, 118 in week 1. I don't know what happened there. 132 in week 2, getting better. 135 week 3. 146 week 4, 144 week 5, 145 week 6, 184 week 7. Where are you at?
You know you can just go to my team and go to the schedule and it'll list it.
I don't know how to do your schedule. Oh, here we go.
If you
now, all right, I'm learning things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's stupid. 187. So in the last, don't get me wrong. In week 13, you had a 103 point day, but just look at since week 9, 187, 168, 154, 194, 103, 143. You've gotten stronger in the second half of the season. Your team has stayed healthy despite you having the 2 glass cannon running backs in the league. Your team is the best I can remember in 17 seasons, and I understand your point of like it's too good to be true.
It would be better if I hadn't have traded away T. Higgins. It would have been better if I didn't drop Jameson Williams.
Bro, it doesn't.
Yeah, but it's still like
your Window is rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic at this point when he's setting his lineup. Like it's not no disrespect to Window. He's lucky to be where he is in the semis, but it's also, and his team is a playoff team. It made the playoffs, but like, bro, this is truly a David and Goliath story, and I understand how that story ended, but like, Goliath's gotta win this one. Just the matchups alone I understand Window's got a few good ones that you identified. Bijan, Rico, Justin Jefferson, Dallas Goedert, but like your matchups, Devon Achane gets the the most favorable run defense for fantasy running backs. All of your wide receivers have stupid good matchups. George Kittle gets a good matchup. Jalen Hurts gets a top 5 matchup. The defense gets the red hot Texans defense gets the Raiders, bro.
I will say that the semifinal matchup, I designed it this way.
You built your team this way.
I built my team for the semis. I said if I get to the championship, anybody has a shot. No, like there's a reason I traded for Amon-Ra when I did. There's a reason I picked up the Texans defense and have held on to them for so long when I did. It's part of the reason why I traded Scotty for Ladd McConkey, who I can't start now. Look at Ladd McConkey's matchup. Who does he get? He gets the Dallas Cowboys. Literally the best matchup he could possibly get, and I don't know that I can start him. I think I might still. I literally made this trade saying I like Ladd McConkey over T. Higgins in this week. Now, Scotty did throw in the chat, thanks. Don't thank me yet. Who knows? T. Higgins still in the concussion protocol. I'm still undefeated on players getting hurt in trades.
Yeah, you are.
That is probably the biggest thing that I got lucky on this year. Everyone I traded away became useless afterwards.
Yeah, it was. You had the
not useless. DeAndre Swift still has value. Swift, but J.K. Dobbins, IR, done for the year. Now Devontae Adams looks like it didn't help Brad anyways because Brad was out of it at this point. But like, looks like he's probably going to miss at least this week, if not next week.
You guys talk about teams of destiny and things lining up. Doesn't that not scream to you? Team of destiny.
Well, this was
trade away injured
this
players.
one was by design. Oh
no,
my matchups this week were by
design. And the fact that the glass cannon running backs happen to have the season where they both stay healthy, this is kind of destiny.
I think saying they're glass, I feel like they're hit and miss when it comes to like obviously Christian McCaffrey last year really hurt. I had him last year. It was bad. Every year that I've drafted Christian McCaffrey before the season, it's been bad, which is why at the beginning of the year when everything's fine, and then right before the game, it's like, by the way, it's questionable, the calf injury. It made my team name for the year.
And the fact that you stuck with Christian McCaffrey also, I feel like adds a little Shakespearean twist to this too. You know, I
last year I did it and it wasn't a thought. This year it was, am I gonna go back to it, knowing how it's worked out for me? Christian McCaffrey is really good, and it's like it seems like it's 1 year he's healthy and he's great and he's awesome. The next year he doesn't play. So don't get me wrong. I will not draft him next year.
Sean, who's your pick? You were picking Window.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You have to be drunk to pick Window. I said TLDR for me is Window is a team of destiny. Destiny doesn't matter when you play Jerry. It's Thanos. It's you couldn't live with your failure. Where did that lead you? Back to me. Like Jerry is inevitable. Jerry is him. Until Jerry loses a playoff game, you are an idiot to bet against Jerry's team. I would wager my paycheck on Jerry's winning a playoff matchup against anyone on a week-to-week basis. It's a no-brainer. Jerry is winning a title. This is all a formality.
So you said it's David and Goliath, and in the defense of your pick, it's 5 Goliaths. It's Achan.
Right.
It's Amon-Ra.
I didn't need to take 3 minutes to do this. It's just because I'm making content. Like, this is we could have taken 2 seconds and moved on to the interesting semifinal matchup. This is a no-brainer. It's Jerry. Now we are moving on. So the other semifinal matchup, which is far more interesting, these are the two. Like, in my view, there were 3 dark horse contenders for a title this year that are not named Jerry LeBlanc. They were myself, and now I'm eliminated. So there are 2 left, and they are playing in the semifinal matchup. It's Scotty and it's Alex. It is the other team that had a bye. The 2 of the top 4 teams in scoring. I mean, Jerry was the top team in scoring all season long, and then Alex, Scotty, and I always hovered on that 2 to 4 range. These are the teams that have the puncher's chance. So the fact that one of them is guaranteed to make the finals is at least gonna make championship week a little more interesting. And it's hopefully going to be the one who has the more favorable week 17 matchups. But yeah, I mean, these are 2 teams that are both putting up 130 on average a clip. They're both projected for 130. Just 2 solid playoff teams that are going to come out here, and one of them's going to earn a spot in the finals. So I'll leave it to you boys to make your predictions.
I mean, this is a much, much, much more close than the last matchup was. And I'm only given a nod by the hair on his chinny chin. But I think I'm going to give it to Alex. I think he's been more consistent. And I think, every week's a different week, but consistency does matter for something. It shows that your team has multiple ways to win at different opportunities. And I think his matchups are just a little better. I think people are getting hot at the right time. I don't know. I've got no strong reason like the last matchup to predict it, but I think Alex is going to take it.
Jerry?
So my heart says Alex. And I think Alex's team probably overall is a little bit better. The problem that I'm running into with Alex's team, though, is that, number one, he's starting Trevor Lawrence. And as a Jaguars fan, I can tell you, trusting Jacksonville Jaguars players to consistently be good is going to disappoint you.
It's a bad time, Bob.
They get Denver. Not a great matchup.
Yeah.
I also just don't love for Alex going to Quinn Ewers on a 1 week notice he has Jalen Waddle and Darren Waller. And Darren Waller, don't get me wrong, had a good week last week. I had him on in my IR spot for a long stretch of time because he looked really good earlier in the season. But like he had a good week last week, but he scored two late fourth quarter touchdowns. If you can rely on that, great. I don't know that you can. I don't know how you feel about Jalen Waddle with a rookie quarterback, a rookie 7th rounder coming in and expecting him to give you like wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1 numbers. Outside of that situation, like the combo of those two things makes me squeamish. I don't know if T. Higgins is playing. He's back in the concussion protocol. It's like super up in the air whether or not he's going to play. I mean, I'm seeing a question mark next to Dalton Kincaid's name. Obviously, Scotty felt good about, or not, sorry, didn't feel great about him. Like because he tried to bid on Kyle Pitts. He has Tyler Warren sitting on the bench. Maybe Jamison Williams can give him one more good week. But, like, I think Jamison Williams can let him down. Like, I want to pick. I don't know who I want to pick at this point. Like, I think overall Alex's team is better. My heart says he's probably going to win, but I think Scotty's going to pull this one out.
One of the interesting things about this matchup that if you just put their scores head to head against each other over the course of the year, like if they were facing each other every week of the year, it would be their records would be separated by 1 win. They have split their season series basically by, with the exception of 1 game. The other thing I found interesting about this is when you actually look at the numbers for those matchups, there are a lot of weeks where Scotty, I mean, since week 8, Scotty was the number 1 scorer in week 8 and week 10. And in week 12, he was the worst scorer. Alex is kind of the same. He's had some weeks like week 12, he was the second highest scorer. Week 14, he was the third highest scorer. Week 8, he was the third highest scorer. But then he has these like weeks where he's like down in around the 50% mark. He doesn't have the terrible weeks like Scotty does, but he doesn't have the same, like neither of these teams are consistently dominant the way your team is. So it is.
I think the swings are bigger on Scotty's team than they are on Alex. I think you're right about that. And so I think this might be a matchup where either Scotty wins it or Scotty loses it.
Sorry, Jerry, who did you predict, just so I can write it down?
I'm picking Scotty.
Okay, so I got I'm the rubber match here. No,
but yeah, like Scotty just made a really good point in the chat. Like, I don't know if this is Alex's lineup for sure, but starting Trevor Lawrence against Denver over Justin Herbert against Dallas. Dallas has the worst pass defense in football. Like,
yeah, I agree. I would be tempted to start Herbert here. I understand the
look at Scotty's bench. Etienne and Myers, Jacksonville players on the bench against Denver.
Yeah. I would almost certainly start Herbert. If I was in his position, I'd start Herbert, and I would also be looking at potentially. I don't know. Do you trust Jalen? Yeah, the question is, do you trust Jalen Waddle? There are some matchups that I don't like on Alex's team. There are some matchups I do like on Scotty's team, but I do think Alex's team is slightly better. And more than that, I think that this season, I have said on the podcast several times a line that I'm going to repeat one last time. And it actually might not be the last time. We'll see what happens next week. But I've said several times this year when making predictions, when I'm predicting these matchups, fuck Scotty. Like, fuck Scotty. Fuck his team. Fuck you, Scotty. He eliminated me. Like, what am I supposed to fucking do? Like, fuck you. And the horse you rode in on. Absolutely. What part of fantasy football involves grace? Fuck that. No, in all seriousness,
spite vote.
I do think actually Scotty has the slightly better matchups. I think Alex has a slightly better team. This is basically a coin flip. We're flipping coins anyway. But part of it also is my heart, like you said, Jerry. I think that Scotty, if you look at Scotty's matchups in week 17, they're abysmal. With the exception of like Drake May and Tyler Warren, who Tyler Warren has a 44-year-old grandfather throwing him the ball. Like, the rest of his matchups are really not good. Jonathan Taylor's got a terrible matchup. Martin Hampton, Jamison Williams, Ted McMillan, like they all have not good matchups. and meanwhile you're in a much better position. Alex is in a better position for the fantasy championship. I think the fantasy gods are going to want at least a slight pretense of a sweat in week 17, which I don't think they're going to get as much with Scotty's team. For all those reasons, I think Alex's team is going to pull this out. And I think this year's championship will be a Jerry versus Alex, a true 1 versus 2 seed final, which is like you alluded to earlier, is a rarity.
Doesn't happen often.
But that is also contingent on Alex making the right moves. I think there's a lot of moves.
Did anyone have Alex in the top 3?
No.
Can we go back to that?
No.
Can we go back to that graphic really quick? I'm sorry, I was distracted during that graphic.
No, you're totally fine. The answer is no, but fun story. One of us had him in the bottom 3. I'll give you a hint.
Fuck.
It wasn't me. So
this makes me so mad because this is like the year that I should have picked myself to be in the top 3, and I don't. And then of course I go on to easily be top 3.
Bro, you can never pick yourself, right? Like you can't be.
You could.
You will never be the juggernaut if you say, "Oh, I'm the juggernaut."
I mean,
but then on the flip side of that, you don't pick yourself for 10 straight weeks, and everybody starts saying you're just trying to reverse jinx yourself.
It also depends on how do you measure top 3, bottom 3. Really was something I struggle with because like, do you measure it? It's like a dick measuring thing.
It's points.
Like, do you measure it from the top? Do you measure from the base? Like. No, but like, do you measure based on record? Do you measure based on point score? Do you measure based on where they finished the end of the season? I'm saying like, there's different ways to measure this. Some of like, and everyone's gonna have their own way they measure it. But a graphic analogy aside, so that's our predictions. And I think that's it. Unless there's anything else. Oh wait, Sacko. No, the Sacko. I'm so sorry. Let's get to our Sacko Bowl. How could I have forgotten? This is the poll right now is a 4-1 vote in favor of Zach winning his first Sacko. I think it's his first Sacko Bowl appearance, right?
Well, he's never missed the playoffs before this year.
Yeah, So he's 0 for 1 in Sacko playoff games. And now he faces Jason Smith and is projected to be the Sacko.
And I feel like that would be kind of fitting as well. That like the one season that he doesn't make the playoffs, he hits rock bottom. He goes all the way down.
This is interesting. This is a really interesting matchup. Projections are close. Averages are also close. These teams are like their average scoring is also really low.
It's such a weird situation because obviously this isn't Zach's team. He doesn't have Mahomes.
Sure.
Really hurts.
It's his team now.
Also, by the way, Rashee Rice in the concussion protocol. He might not play.
Bro, again, you got
Marvin Harrison Jr. hasn't played in how long, and they're dead. Is he playing?
Gotta find a way to get through injuries. I lost Dak Prescott, Chris Godwin, the number 1 wide receiver of fantasy at the time, James Conner, Chuba Hubbard. I was starting Jacoby Myers and Wan'Dale Robinson in the championship. You gotta find a way to win, man. You gotta put something together.
Yeah, you bet on Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, when in doubt, start Bryce Young against Tampa Bay. Like
Gardner Minshew is arguably like one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah,
he's one of the meatiest NFL quarterbacks.
He's playing the Titans defense. He could eat. I mean, honestly,
I bet you he does.
I'd make a case that I think you can make a case to start Gardner Minshew over Marcus Mariota against Philly.
I would.
Right?
I probably would. Yeah.
So there's roster moves that could be made here. I think Keenan Allen's another one where you could take a dart throw at him if Rashee Rice is out, given the favorable matchup against what might be a shootout against Dallas. Because what else you can do at wide receiver? I mean, you could start Debo, I guess, but again, do you really want to? For the same reason as
see Scotty's comment.
No, I mean, this is the Sacko Bowl. You take the Flyers,
Scotty. Fuck you. This is why I said fuck Scotty.
Hey, Sean, tell us more about your dynasty,
bro. I got it for 2 more weeks, and I'm gonna come over and start banging on Scotty's door. I'm gonna walk over the 5-minute walk over to Scotty's house and start banging on the door. I'm gonna wake up Willow and just be shouting from the street.
So Sean, if you do that, he could just do the same to you, and then it's not just waking up
Yeah,
Ruby,
I
it's
know.
waking up.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't do that to Scotty. But I would go over to his house and stand. What a dick.
Yeah, let's hear about this time.
What a dick. What an asshole. Hey, Scotty, when was your last title?
2 years ago. It really wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it was longer than mine.
He's also still in contention this year.
No,
He's like the one person that you can't talk shit to about it because it's like, no, 2 years ago and he could win it this year.
And
Two
he beat
titles
me.
in 2 titles in 3 years would be a dynasty.
That's impressive.
Oh, fuck off. That's what's Sky's the team of destiny. We're gonna be here in a week. He's gonna be playing in the championship. He's gonna win. He's gonna beat you, and we're gonna calling him a team of destiny. And I'm gonna have to call him a dynasty. I hate this. The scripts write themselves. Has anyone made a prediction in this one?
I am. Oh no, we have not.
Yeah, I predicted that Jason Smith is gonna pull this out and retain not being Sacko this year. Zach's getting the crown.
I think the injuries are going to be too much. I think Jason's team has come on relatively strong. He had a bad week last week, but his team has kind of come together a little bit. I think I'd rather take his team for this week. I'm going with Jason.
You've been betting on Jason Smith. The reason you can't do...
We can hit up Waffle House, Zach. Don't worry.
The reason you have missed your predictions all year long is because of 2 reasons. You never bet on yourself to win, and you didn't this week. And you also never bet against Jason Smith. You keep believing in his team, and they keep letting you down.
I did. I did
every
pick
week.
Jason to win a lot.
You do, and every week he fucks it up.
I'm actually curious if we could go back week by week and check.
I can do it right now.
If I'd picked myself every week and picked Jason against Jason every week, how would it have gone? Like how much would it have changed? How many more wins would I have gotten?
Well, I like to do the math later. We'll have to do this after the pod. But
yeah, Sean, what's your pick?
I really don't know, man. Like I don't know. I'm going to take a shot in the dark here, and it's just gut feeling. I think Jason Smith deserves the Sacko more. I think he is in a slightly better position this week than Zach's team is. And for both of those reasons, and the matchups are favorable. Zach has some favorable ones, but he's dealing with more injury issues. Jason Smith, I just have a feeling he's going to survive this week. Because here's the thing, too. If Jason loses this Sacko Bowl, he will be the first person in league history, or he has the potential to be the first person in league history, to have done... Actually, no, he'll be the first to do 3 Sacko punishments. And he could do all 3 different ones. He's done the SAT. He was the inaugural SAT. He's done Waffle House. He could do the puzzle and go have the trifecta, or he could do the bowling one if we decide to canonize that as a tradition, like as a Sacko punishment.
I've seen a similar thing to the Waffle House thing where it's like, you have to find a bar that's like open for 16 plus hours and go as soon as they open and stay until last call. And it's like every beer takes off 30 minutes, every shot takes off like 45.
Oh, that's like dangerous. That's
so you better have a
instead of waffles, it's alcohol. So it's like
I think I'd rather have the waffles.
Yeah.
I don't trust me. Here's the thing: I've done the waffles alone. It's bad. Have you ever pooped at a Waffle House?
No.
The bathroom's not clean.
By the way, can I just say our content on this episode has been fantastic between, like, talking about dick measuring and then Waffle House bathrooms.
Surfside's count as a beer, Jason. We can do this.
No, I'd rather do the SAT just because I'd want to challenge myself. I think doing the SAT drunk might be fun.
It's not. It's not.
I would have picked the SAT
if
I got the Sacko.
It's not fun. I promise.
But I just, like I said, I just have a feeling.
Maybe it didn't help me that I was like borderline blackout drunk when I started rather than like getting drunk during it. But no, it's not fun. Do you know how many times I read the same essay and my brain just wasn't comprehending it?
So all I was saying was I have a feeling.
I do Waffle House again before doing the SAT again, for sure.
Even those bathrooms.
I have a
Despite the bathrooms.
I have a feeling that Jason Smith is set up to win this week. I have a feeling that he deserves the Sacko more. Both of those, you would think I'd pick Zach. I'm picking Jason Smith.
Wait, hold on. Did you say we both pick Zach?
No. I'm saying you would think I would pick Zach.
Oh,
because
okay,
Jason Smith, I think, deserves the Sacko more given his
for
record.
dramatic effect, Scotty.
But yeah, Scotty is just out here.
Scotty's on one tonight.
Yeah, I know. Like, who pissed his Cheerios? Fuck you, Scotty. I'm still fucking pissed he beat me. But yeah, I'm picking Jason Smith.
Actually, wait a minute. I just said that I just told Jason the Surfsides count for this. So if he had to go to a bar and do this, but like, I've seen Jason house like 7 Surfsides in 10 minutes because they don't taste like anything.
I don't know if you know this. At the draft, I think we counted like during draft weekend, Jason had somewhere around like, was it like 50 teas? Jason, how many teas did you have? I
don't know how many he had then, but like I remember we went tubing and he had, I think like him and Brad finished 30 in our tubing trip. It was like, no, he had like 7 before we got in the tube.
No, he had, I'm pretty sure, like I said, I don't remember if it was 30 or 50. I thought the number was around like 50 over the course of the weekend. Which is just an astronomical amount of twisted teas.
I think if you strategize this right, you could do Surfsides
45
around
plus.
Greasy food and time it out in a way that maybe you would even go home with above what, a 0.15 maybe?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there are bars in Arlington
We could figure
that
it out.
open at like 11 and they don't close till 2 a.m. Like 16 hours at a bar is still a long ass time.
We could figure it out. But
yeah.
That is our pod. So I want to say good luck to the 6 teams playing this week. I'm even going to say good luck to Scotty and Alex and Jerry and Window and, of course, Zach and Jason Smith. Hope you don't become the Sacko. Hope you make the finals. James just left. Oh, wait, he entered the waiting room. We must have lost him.
Oops.
Hey, look, there's 2 Jameses.
Hold on. Oh, and of course, now this screws up my setup. That's okay.
Don't worry about it.
It's going to take 2 seconds. So, anyway. So like I said, that's our pod. We will be back next week. Whoever wins out of the Jerry Window matchup and the Alex Scotty matchup, Wednesday at 8:30. It is tradition that the finalist teams have an invite to the championship podcast. So if you would like to be on the podcast, like I said, Jerry and I, we've been shooting for Wednesdays at 8:30, and it's since Frisbee ended, it's been working really well. So we're going to try to do, I think, a Wednesday at 8:30 podcast next week for the season finale of the JCPenney podcast, season 17, episode 17.
Christmas Eve?
Was that Christmas Eve? Never mind. We're not going to do it. Maybe a Tuesday. We're going to find a day to do the podcast. But let's target Tuesday because
I think we can make Christmas Eve work.
I will not be able to make Christmas Eve work. I will be heading up to PA at some point on Christmas Eve. So
Zach, I'm tapping you back in here.
No.
Wait, Sean, are you going to the Poconos for Christmas Eve?
Close. I'm going up to PA for the in-laws. Up at Scranton. But
if we got to do Tuesday, I guess we can do Tuesday.
We're going to shoot for Tuesday. So, Tuesday, 8:30. Whoever wins the Jerry Window matchup, whoever wins the Alex Scotty matchup, if you can clear your calendars for that night, please do so. We love to have you on the podcast. It always makes great content. And again, I want to have content for, as you know, whoever wins the title this year. I've started the tradition to make you a championship montage of all the takes of people shitting on your team in the championship podcast episode being proven wrong, and all of your takes as to why you'll win being proven right. So this is a great moment for you to have some content. So, anything else, boys, before we close out?
Just responding to Jason's last thing. Yes, you have to buy the Surfsides, just like how you have to buy the waffles at Waffle House. Oh, also, Window chiming in. Let's start planning drafts.
Yeah. I'm
draft stuff. Let's definitely do this. I think similar weekend would make sense. I really like to do, if we're not doing Deep Creek again, something similar. I really have enjoyed the last 2 years of Deep Creek.
I have enjoyed them as well.
Yeah, I've loved Deep Creek. I'm also fine doing something that's similar, that's closer to James. If we can find a place that's like, it would be great to find a place that's like equidistant. But I don't mind taking a trip up to the Poconos or up north, just to like try something else out. If we want to do that, like we can talk about it. I'd love to like once the season's over, we can have like a little discussion if we want to. Like, we don't have to do a formal rules meeting just yet, but I know there have been several things that have been discussed about. I think one that comes to mind is whether or not benching players to in an effort to try to get a what you perceive to be a more favorable matchup is kosher or not. There's been talk about making that into the rule, adding that into the rules. There's been talk about several like potential rule changes during the course of the season. So I think it'd be good to even have just a discussion to like hash those out, even if we're not voting on them just yet. But also more than anything to like start planning for the draft next year, because it is such a wonderful event that we all get to go to. And I think last year was the last 2 years have been the best that have happened in succession, the best drafts we've had, and I'd like to keep that streak running. So yeah.
Good luck to your Sacko Bowls out there, boys.
Yeah, says the former Woat.
I can say that now that I'm not in the Sacko Bowl anymore.
All right. With that said, good luck in your matchups. We'll see you for next week's season finale.
Go Knowles.
I was waiting for it.